Hey everyone, another week, and the week actually started with me going into Pastor's Place in the morning on Wednesday, and Pastor and all actually were leaving that day, so I had a chance to meet with him, get some things that needed to be done, as well as a few of the other guys from the team actually came in there to sit with him and meet with him. And after that, I headed to the office. In the office, I basically spent the day preparing for that evening's Bible study, which I would have to lead. And I was thinking of what topics to do, and until I got into the office and actually started going through the Bible, I was thinking of doing the lame men in the Bible. But it's just amazing how God worked, and we had been studying the book of Colossians. We were looking at chapter 3, and it so happened that I came upon Ephesians chapter 4, and Paul's letter to the church at Ephesus, and it was just amazing how I got stuck in chapter 4 and then started reading from 17 till about 17 to 32, and decided to go with that. And since I'd be doing the next week too, I decided to split it up into two sections. So I actually prepared from Ephesians 4:17 to 24, and I used the acronym change, and used the first word, which is Paul's insistence on change, and develop some points, and you'll actually see the points in the text below. That day was really hot in the office. It was about 85 degrees, so it was a really hot day, and the humidity was really high, and it was pretty much a sweat bath. I had like 2 fans on me. We don't have ACs in the office yet, but it was extremely hot, and the Bible study actually went off well, and there were about 6 of us, so it was a blessed time. Thursday morning I was in the office, and after that I got home and then went for a walk, and then I met a few neighbors from Korea, and they actually wanted to come to church, but I don't think that didn't work out later on in the week. But it was really nice to get a chance to meet with them, and they kept saying, "Your door is always locked," because quite a lot of the time I'm not at home. But it was nice to meet with them and just communicate with them in in a lot more sign than language, but because they don't speak English or Hindi or Bengali, and they only speak Korean, and I think I only know about 2 or 3 words in Korean, but even with the limited knowledge, we were able to communicate a bit, and they found out that I was Christian and I was working with a church, and they're also believers, so they wanted to come to a church, but we'll see how God works that out. In fact, they're actually looking for language lessons. Friday I worked from home, and basically was preparing for Sunday because I would be leading the worship also. Saturday morning I went into the office and did a few printouts and things like that, like our prayer bookmarks and even the worship sheets, and then we went over to the school, and I actually got the worship team to come in, and we actually practiced together over there after setting up. So that was a good thing, and it was something different. In fact, after that, a few of us were just jamming, just singing songs, and just spending the time using that place. I actually got home and had lunch and rested for a bit, and that evening I actually had coffee with a few friends, and we came back over to the house and had dinner, and we got engrossed in a game of Uno, and I think there was like 5 of us that were playing Uno, and it was pretty interesting, and for some of them I think it was only the second time that they were ever playing Uno, so that was fun. Sunday morning we had church, and we started the series on the church in Acts, and we're looking at from Acts 1 to Acts 12, and this week we looked at prayer, and one of the leaders actually did the sermon because Pastor was on town, but he did a great job on prayer, and just how prayer worked in the old church and in the first church. That afternoon we actually took the youth out to McDonald's, and that was a fun time, and I think all of them left holding their stomachs because we ate a lot, but it was just great. We didn't have a youth meeting in the afternoon, and I pretty much came home and I just passed out for a while. Monday I was at home, and that's usually my day off, so take the time to just rest and just pretty much shut out and just stay at home and do things at home. Tuesday I actually had to drop off a phone that needed to be cracked. The new director for IJM actually has an iPhone, so he wanted that cracked, and a friend of mine does that, so I went and dropped that off, and then I went to the office and started trying to prepare for CNC, and came across the character of Jephthah, and that's in Judges 11. And it's just an amazing story of, you know, how so many times we choose to bargain with God even when we know that God is with us and God is leading us. And it was just an amazing story about, you know, how he makes that rash vow, and just what happens with that. And I actually cooked some type of noodles, but I think it was the first time I ever used those type of noodles, so it came out pretty. It came out looking like a pish pash, but it wasn't too bad to the palate. Although I wish I had some pickle or something to go along with it. But we had a great time at CNC, and two new people came. In fact, they'd been saying they would come, and they finally came, and they actually really enjoyed themselves. And we had a great study on that, and there's a lot of material that I managed to find on Jephthah, and it was just a great study. Unfortunately, my laptop gave out on me, and it kind of just froze and jammed, and it's been giving trouble ever since. But it works for a while, and then I think there's something wrong with I think the hardware or the system software, and so I'm gonna have to take it into the shop and get it checked out. But it was a great week, and it was a blessed week, and I look forward to the next week. So I pray that you've had a great week, and that God's been speaking to you, and you haven't made any rash vows and tried bargaining with God, because our God is a God that is powerful and strong, and He will take you to task. So take care, have a blessed week, and God bless.